Welcome back to America's Commercial Real Estate Show. I'm Michael Bull. The segment is brought to you by my company, Bull Realty, commercial real estate asset and occupancy solutions for brokerage services customized for you. Check us out at bullrealty.com. Well, today we're talking about commercial real estate resources for principals, for investors, for users, for brokers, for pretty much everyone in the field. You're going to enjoy our next guest. Please welcome Richard Sarkis. He's co-founder and CEO of Reonomy, and he's joining us on the phone. Richard, thanks for joining us, sir.
Thanks for having me, Michael. It's a pleasure.
And if you guys aren't familiar with Reonomy, it's Reonomy. And if you're not driving and you want to follow along and look at their website, it's reonomy.com. So, Richard, tell me, what is Reonomy and why is it? Why did you create this?
It's a good question. So I actually did not have a background in real estate or commercial real estate. The only thing I knew about commercial real estate is that I lived in an office building with a multifamily on top, and I worked in one as well. But what dawned on me is that there was this terrific, huge opportunity to do for commercial real estate what Zillow, Trulia, others had done for residential. The same way you and I would use a Zillow to find our dream homes or to research a suburb of Atlanta to find whether we wanted to live in a specific neighborhood or another, there really wasn't a nationwide platform that did that for everybody on the commercial side. So I decided to found Reonomy back in 2013 and basically apply modern machine learning and artificial intelligence to collect any data set that we could and then present it in a very simple and elegant and intuitive web-based interface so that brokers, lenders, principals, loan originators at the bank could use it to essentially do two things. One, find the information that they needed to make more money faster, right? Whether it's as an investment sales broker or a loan originator, and then to conduct quick research about a specific asset, a type of asset, or a neighborhood or an area as quickly and efficiently as possible. And that's how Reonomy came to be.
Okay, so you're using public data with algorithms and things like that, and then you're also using private information as well?
Yep. So we have essentially two main sources of data. Public data, as you alluded to, so that's local tax assessor, land records division, Secretary of State databases, where we integrate and we ingest that data programmatically via APIs or via interfaces that basically are piping data from those sources directly into our platform. And then we supplement that with other third-party data, private sources, as you put it, from title company data like CoreLogic, Black Knight, company and people data from Dun & Bradstreet and credit rating agency data. And at this point, many of those data sources are exclusive to us in this space.
You know, and then one of the challenges I think some people get into, at least we do as brokers, is who really owns the building, right? Instead of they're hiding behind these LLCs and layers.
You hit the nail on the head, and that's, you know, again, as somebody who didn't grow up in this space, it sort of was very counterintuitive to me that here you've got this massive physical, tangible asset, sometimes worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and yet it wasn't readily available who owned it, what else they owned, who held the debt, et cetera. And so we developed proprietary algorithms, a lot of them machine learning and artificial intelligence based, that are able to pierce that corporate veil, whether it's an LLC, a corporation, a trust, you name it, and be able to tell you that, you know, 123 Main Street LLC, the registered owner on the public record, is actually company X, and the parent company is actually this other big company, and here are all the managing members and principals, and then enhance that with all their contact information as well, so that you as a broker can get in touch with those principals directly yourself.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, because sometimes that's hard to find. And we at Bull Realty, at my shop, we do business in the Southeast, and we have expensive systems and a lot of systems that track properties and information. But sometimes we work in some of the smaller markets, and those systems aren't covered as well. How about you guys?
Yeah, that's a great question. And so that really speaks to one of the core differentiators that we have. Again, I mentioned it. We use a programmatic, tech-driven, machine-based way to collect all this data. And if you think about it, machines won't discriminate against a secondary or tertiary market just because it's small, or even within those markets, it in a sense doesn't discriminate between a 5-unit multifamily or a 500-unit multifamily. To the machine, it's the same, and they're going to collect the data for all those data assets and all those markets. So we actually have complete coverage coast to coast. We cover over 99.8% of the U.S., so that's over 3,000 counties, 20,000 municipalities. And within that, we cover any building that's not a single family home. So that's duplex and above, vacant land, warehouse, industrial, office, retail, you name it. We've got it.
Well, I'm visualizing a map as you talk about your coverage. That's better than my phone, according to the commercials.
Yes, exactly. It's one of those, if you've seen the movie Outbreak with Dustin Hoffman where the virus is spreading, I like to joke that we started in New York, and in fact, in one of my early board meetings, 5-6 years ago, when we only had a New York coverage, I would show this heat map, and it only had this circle around New York, but over the years, we sort of spread so that now the entire U.S. is painted, from a data coverage perspective.
And you're headquartered in New York. How big is your company? How many people you have now?
Yeah, we're about 100 people. We're headquartered right here in Midtown Manhattan, and so we were sort of born and bred in New York. We are looking to expand our footprint internationally next year, Canada, UK, etc. But for now, we're all headquartered and we all work out of our office here in Midtown Manhattan.
Okay. You mentioned who some of your clients are. Who are some of your best clients? So what profession or business would be really in the strike zone as a customer for you?
Yeah, so there's 3 main buckets of sort of straight down the middle of the fairway, and this has been consistent from the time I started the company. You've got the brokers, so those are investment sales brokers, mortgage brokers, capital markets folks. That's bucket number 1. Bucket number 2 are the folks on the equity side, the principals, the developers, the investors who are interested in finding out information, working with their brokers. A lot of investors, developers work hand in hand with their brokers. They both have access to Reonomy and they exchange information that way. And so that's another important bucket of users for us. And then the third would be the lenders, the loan originators, the JP Morgans of this world who are looking to place debt on property either through refinancing or as part of an equity transaction. And what's been surprising is there's been this third big bucket or fourth big bucket, I should say, that's sprouted out, and that's the service providers. A lot of folks who want to get in touch with the owners of commercial buildings because they want to sell their valuable services to them now use us to do that. So roofers, contractors, HVAC installers, you name it, they're on the platform.
Okay, excellent. So give me an idea of some sample cost, Richard.
The cost varies. It can start off very affordably, less than $50 a month. So I'd like to say that that's less than probably you and I pay for coffee on a monthly basis. And then if you're a real power user and you're using this day in, day out, it can be a couple of $100 a month to pay. But we've got flexible payment schedules where you can pay monthly or pay upfront in exchange for a discount. We try to basically cater to a pretty wide audience of users. So, and we also offer a free trial, no strings attached. You don't have to put your credit card or anything wonky like that. So we really want you to see the value, make sure it's a fit. That's very important for us before you decide to take the plunge.
Well, I like the fact that, any of my listeners anywhere in the country, maybe they're in a smaller market that doesn't have good coverage from some of these major systems that we all use, that it can be beneficial to them as well. I really like it. Before you leave us, Richard, what would be a surprise, if you will, to some of your clients, a success story or something that surprised them about the service?
Yeah, well, I alluded to it with that sort of fourth big bucket of users. To me, I was very surprised when one of my sales folks came to me about a couple of years ago and said, hey, guess what? I just had a group of 20 storm chasers sign up for 20 licenses of Reonomy. I'm like, what the hell is a storm chaser? I was thinking about that movie, when they have the car and they're chasing after the tornadoes. I'm like, why the hell would they need, Reonomy? But what it ends up being is this huge sort of surprising to me group of professionals that work with insurance companies to basically fix your roofs and assess where storms are going to hit. And what they want to know is who owns these big multifamily properties and these big warehouse industrial properties within these storm corridors. And up until now, they would literally have to comb through government sources, Google, do all this kind of detective work. It would take them days, if not weeks, to do. And now with a few clicks, they're able to sort of draw on the map, say, okay, looks like the storm's going to hit in this area. Now download all the owners of the properties and all their contact information. And it's been a very big, and to me at least surprising, because I had the movie, in my mind about these storm chasers.
Right. Sounds like there's a lot of uses for a lot of different folks, and I guess we're a new client of yours, so we're excited about it as well.
Yes, we're excited to be working with you guys.
Well, Richard, thanks for your information. Thanks for the service. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
All right, and thank you for joining us for Commercial Real Estate Resources. Thanks for sharing the show. Hey, we'd love to connect with you. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for sharing the show and commenting. And until next week, be sure that you always lead, learn, and laugh, and join us for America's Commercial Real Estate Show. America's Commercial Real Estate Show is brought to you by Bull Realty. For customized asset and occupancy solutions, visit bullrealty.com. Commercial Agent Success Strategies. Incredible training for commercial agents. Visit commercialagentsuccess.com.